better than so-and-so community or better than so-and-so community. And we just see evidence every single time we stream, don't we, EVC?
Definitely. I mean, you guys make it fun, and it's so great, and everyone's so helpful. You know, I've learned things from other streamers. Never worry about asking dumb questions in the streams. We all love to help in any way we can, because that's how we learned, and that's how we learn about the game, different things about it. I think today someone was talking about, didn't realize for the longest time that speed was attempts for running, you know. So it's just, again, there's so many different things you can learn from everybody else. And yeah, that was epic. That was an epic stream by Dish, though, right?
Yeah, it was an epic stream. Absolutely.
Also, shout out to fan Steve, who re-upped for his 14th month for you.
Yeah. 14. It just seemed like yesterday I was creating his 6-month emote with the, we call it the Santo Shuffle on the stream here. And 14 months. He's my longest subscriber. I know yours is Gabagoo Luigi. And
but the Cubs fans, he's right behind him. Right behind him.
He's what?
He's right behind Gabagoo Luigi.
Oh, is he? Oh.
Yeah.
He's been part of the affiliate community, like watching the affiliate community, I think, since most of us started. So thank you, Cub fan Steve. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, Boiled Egg again. Thank you, Chess Safari, and all the rest of you that either, you know, subscribe, follow, even just watching, you know, helps us out. So again, and today's set, again, one of those monumental extravaganza set pieces or programs that we have throughout the year, like milestones, like build a legend, build a card this year. So yeah, it was fun to see. Well,
it's going to be interesting as a program too, right? These are not, you know, someone was guessing before, like how many hundreds we'd get in this set. Some people thought we'd get 20 or something like that. Well, I think that's before we thought it was a program, and you can tell, like, I haven't seen the missions come in yet, so I'm really interested to see what the missions are. But
yeah,
there are definitely some players that are missing, right?
Yeah, and there's more to come. Like, this isn't it. There are more. So I don't know if we're going to see we saw a few today. Maybe that's part of the ultimate goal is infusion of perfect cards, one for every team. But I mean, we saw 30 today, but who's to say? If this is a program, we're definitely going to see some more. We only saw, I think, 1 silver, wasn't it?
Missions are live.
Oh, missions are live. Missions are live. There we go. Hi. Missions are live. All right. Thank you, Dishnet, for that. As everyone scrambles now to either sell.
I'm scrambling. I'm just like you guys. I don't know how you guys stream when all the new cards are coming. And
I know. I just go with the flow. You know, Warbot says that all the time. You know, I go on the Hawk report, but I'm missing out on prime time card investment, and whatever. Like again, I like to give some immediate feedback about the cards and have some fun and play some games. Speaking of having fun, you know what? The community is here. Let's go and give away 5 packs right off the bat. Leo Remus won 5 packs today by guessing the early bird card. It was the Cal McVeigh card that came out, limited edition out of 50. If any of you guys pull it today, let us know if you pull that limited edition 98 Cal McVeigh. So Leo, congratulations on being the first to guess that. And now it's exclamation enter, exclamation ticket. And we'll make a draw in a few minutes. All right.
I am so excited. Freddie Freeman is on the Dodgers theme team with 3 minutes to spare before the next sim. Oh,
you got him already?
I have all the Dodgers on my theme team. So the mission is collect all the live cards, and you get the cards. So there you go.
That's it. So the missions seem to be just live cards that you have to collect.
Yeah, I'm gonna check on the main. I have more of that stuff. There's definitely, I think you have to have all the live cards for every team. There may be a couple that don't. Bottlenecks are going to probably be the perfect cards, right? If you turned around and sold perfect cards, or you turned around and sold all your lives that weren't dupes, and sometimes there's a good reason to do that, right? You need the perfect points to go pursue and finish off that immortal mission or something else. Like, that is the quick and easy way to doing that. But
wow. So these cards are not going to be, overly rare. because so many people have live cards, and when you open packs, you get the live card. So it's going to encourage more pack opening. So, I mean,
it's
someone
not
said
all-
they auto completed 35 of them.
It's not all lives. It's
Oh.
basically 39 out of 40 or 41 out of 42. So almost everything but one, which I'm
Can
not
you share your
sure.
screen, EVC, quickly? Can you share OOTP?
I can. Let me make sure I've got the screen sharing going here. Present. Share screen. See, let's see.
And then you want to pick window.
Yep. And window, there we go, out of the park. And there
All
we
right.
go.
There we go. So yeah, walk us through some of these missions.
So you'll see like the Cleveland Guardians, you need 21 out of 22 to go pull that out. And let's see, the big one, the Houston Astros, right? I think that was a really great card, which I cannot find. Framber Valdez. Where are you, Houston? Here's Houston. And it's 46 out of 47, I think. So I think you have, or is it all of them? I think you have to lock all of them for this one.
Oh, well, it's a perfect card. So yeah,
at least
that would make
46.
sense.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. 43. Yeah, you need all of them for the Houston to go get Framber Valdez. Let's go get Framber Valdez. And then there's some other missions in here. There is a pack rewards for Rocket Man, 22 out of 28. You get a diamond pack. And again, this looks like a lot of Houston Astros cards. So you remember we did have earlier in the season like specific theme team or franchise missions for pack rewards. It looks like we've got those as well. So Space Oddity is more. I'm not sure what Space Oddity is. Is it the year that the song came out? I don't know.
I don't know.
And I don't have chat open. Let's see. Can I do this without messing things up?
Oh,
I do. Yeah, I don't know. I always, I'm always slow. So this is Bohemian Rhapsody. And you need Sam Trott and Tricky Nichols to finish that one for me.
more importantly, how about the Blue Jays? What do you need?
Blue Jays. Let's go take a look at Toronto to get Bichette. It says you need to get. So
all the
it looks
live.
like you need all of them to get Bichette.
Yeah.
I'm assuming these, they're well, they talked about these next versions could be PTCS rewards. They could be other things. So I'm not sure if you need, if you finish all of these, there's no toppers per se as of yet on top of this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those
will probably come towards the end of this program. I would imagine there'll be some sort of toppers. But look at your completion there. Wow. I mean, you only need one more for the Met. You might as well go get that Met.
Well, yeah. Let's talk about the Met that I need to get. Right. It's Diaz.
Oh, how many times
did you pull him on stream? Edwin's Diaz. There's none of them out there right now, but I can
-1.
You.
Look at that sell order. -1.
Oh, there's 2. 55,000. So these are going to go for a lot.
Yeah. At least for now. And if you watch my Gladiator streams, I've got a lot of packs. I got a lot of packs there.
When are you opening again? When are you starting your whole opening all the packs? Is this now? If this is one of the final cycles, are you waiting? Or are you waiting for one more?
I think I'm going to wait for one more at least of this set before I go big time. So it's still going to be 200 every Saturday. And yeah, it's a good time to, have a lot of packs because you're going to get a lot of live cards. So, and apparently the spotties, can you go to your market and just see what the spotties look like there?
Let's go into the market. The other thing I'm kind of wondering is, okay, no spotties up yet. This, Nicolino said spotties might take a little while.
Okay.
The other thing I'm wondering about is that this was announced as the Elite Live Collection, the PT Elite Live Collection. Could there be a PT Elite Boom collection? You know, dead ball collection? Like, there are plenty of baseball players in history that we don't have yet. Now, it feels weird for me that, you know, to have Ty Cobb in the 1980s neon art. But
right. Yeah. Well, there goes the conspiracy theories, AVC. You're already speculating.
And I don't see any PT Elite topper missions. There's nothing else here for that. So if you complete them all, it doesn't appear that you get anything else.
Okay. So one for every team, and then you got a few other odd and ends missions as well for packs, it looks like.
And it does feel like you need all the cards for each of these. I have not come up one where I don't have to lock.
There you go. Conspiracy theory put to rest there, EVC.
Oh, there it is. Which one?
The one on
PT
screen.
Elite is strictly going to be 2023 players. Okay, Dishnet. Thank you.
Yes.
Darn it. And here, you do not need to lock, for example, I don't need to lock Jose Ramirez on the Cleveland. So
okay.
it is not, some of them you do all of it, and some of them you do not. Matt Olson, I think to get a perfect, you need to get all of them. Is that going to be the case?
Yeah, a lot of people are saying Boston's 48 out of 49. So it seems like it's either all of them or, you know, 95% of them that you're going to need. Yep. So all right. Well, that is going to be autocomplete for a lot of people that hung on to their live cards. Good on you guys. You don't have to invest too much into the card shop. And again, prices are at the highest point they're going to be pretty much for the next few hours because there might not be a lot listed. And over time, people are going to pull more of these and the price will come down. So it's just how patient are you in getting these to your team?
Patient?
So
what is that?
Oh, believe me, I have that. I have that. Okay. Well, thanks for showing that off. Let's take that off screen now. The other thing I wanted to mention is we're going to have our bounty in just a minute. We're going to have our deal or no deal bounty. And I haven't had much luck with Isadafo or Charles drafting my team. So I'm hoping EVC. EVC is on a little bit of a hot streak in tournaments lately. So I'm hoping he can help me out. And speaking of tournaments, this week I was honored and flabbergasted to get my own Laptop Hound daily as part of the refresh. And to commemorate that, I want to do something special for the community and keep track of it. I am going to enter every day. I'm going to get in as soon as it fires. I don't care if I'm in queue for 22 hours. I've entered everyone so far, and I'm going to keep entering it. I hope you guys do as well. The community does. And here are our 3 winners so far for this one that came out on Monday. We've got Kuana's Green, we've got the Dodgers, and we've got our very own Wildcat Bandit, who won yesterday's tournament. Isadafo came second in that tournament, and someone you may be familiar with in the program right now came third, EVC representing. So 3 of our community, 3 people that heavily invested into streaming or watching the streams, and D. Dempsey came fourth. So I'd say that's a clean sweep of the top 4 positions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter this every day, keep track of the top 4, and assign points. 4 points for the winner of the tournament, 3 for second. If you lose to the winner, I'm going to count you as third. And then fourth is whoever loses to the second place person. And I'm going to keep track of these points. And at the end of each month, this month in January, I'm going to give out some extra packs for the overall winner of the Laptop Hound Daily. So I'm going to, keep some that I'm assigned to for my stream and keep those away for the end of the month. So get involved, try and enter as often as you can. And right now, EVC's, in the top 10 in terms of total points. So keep on entering. I'm still going in today's, I think. I'm still, no, I'm not. I take that back. I lost in round 2 of today. So
I'm still going.
Are you? Oh, man. So, yeah. What do we got? We've got 8 out of 64 for tomorrow. So again, fill that up. It's filled up every day so far before it's fired. So yeah, if you want to try and win a few extra packs, this is for a high diamond choice pack within the tournament because there's 64 teams get involved, and I'll keep you part of the sheet here. I'm trying to figure out a way, EVC, and you know this a lot better, but let me share my screen here. Let me take that off and share this one here. You're an Excel guy a little bit more than me anyway. And so every tournament, because I'm entering every one, I've exported all the data from the hitters and the pitchers just from this tournament. So this is 3 days worth. And now I don't know. I don't have a clue what to do with it. Like, once I collect this data, I want to find out, okay, which players are performing the best. I don't know what. I think you said something about a pivot table or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've compiled by player, and sometimes you need to pull out the player ID so you don't duplicate the player. And I used to do this a lot. I used to pull out the data from like Diamond, and people would share perfect leagues on DRC's Discord. Yeah, I don't exactly. I'm not an Excel. And so you would go through and try to compile and create pivot tables based on, here's all the first basemen, what they did. The problem is, again, different people rate them and play them at different positions. So you only get certain things at different positions. I am not the expert in doing modeling. I do the cheap and easy thing. I get into one of the big tournaments, and then I just look and see on the stats for one of the big tournaments. Like if you've got 128 or 256 teams in a tournament, you're going to see who the best performers are in that tournament by just looking at the stat screen and taking a look at some of the top WAR hitters and top WAR pitchers, and using that to help me go figure out. So even if you don't have a great team, you can get into one of these big 128 or 256 tournament tourneys, and then look at the stats at the end of it and use that. I actually upgraded my bronze and gold tourney teams yesterday by doing that and taking a look at the data from those and try to do that. I try to do that every couple of weeks. I just go through and look at the data and just see what the top teams seem to be playing, or what the top performers at every position are, and do some updates from that.
Okay. So, yeah. Again, Fnatic has been helping me out a little bit, and maybe I'll reach out to Chess Safari. Chess Safari said, I can help you out, Lap. And Chess, you caught on my stream on Monday or Tuesday, I think it was. Chess was on the stream, and he was going through, the way he evaluates players, from diamond, silver, and gold, mainly kind of leagues, not perfect league, but the other leagues, using the ELO system. So I might have to reach out, and he can kind of help me at least get started on this, because it's just overwhelming. I just want point and push play, and everything magically appears. And I don't
yeah, it's a little bit more than that. It's a lot of work. And that's why hats out to everyone who's modeling like Chess and Snailman and your kidneys. Like there's a lot more going into kind of creating the models. And they're actually doing, I never went that far. I would go calculate the WOBA for top players. I don't know ELO like Chess Safaris, but I would do WOBA by top for each players. And then I just weight it based on innings pitched, and I'd weight it based on at bats, just to kind of get a feel for who the top players were and make sure I had a large enough sample. And then and then you'd have to keep updating the data. So like I would run it in last year, I'd run it every single week, pulling in multiple diamond leagues and a couple perfect leagues, and run a composite of like the top players and rank it by WOBA, both pitchers WOBA and hitters WOBA, as a way to go do that. And there's an equation you can do. But it gets messy because innings pitched are shown as like decimals, 69.1, 69.2, or 70. Mm-hmm. And so you have to kind of convert that decimal point into, so it can be a bit, which I'm now spend way too much time across 6 theme teams to go do the modeling like I used to do. And so, so hats off to you.
Speaking of, modeling, and you must have done some in the past, walking down the runway a few times in New York City. Oh, come on.
Yeah, I'm always here for Fashion Week. And I'm known for the fashion kind of stuff. So Fashion Week, kind of the time where I do most of my modeling, and then I kind of chill for the rest of the year.
All right, gang, we're going to take a quick break here because we want to do our bounty as soon as we get back. We're going to have trivia later. Warbot is going to join us. He's a little bit busy right now. We'll be back with Mr. Claus modeling off his new hats in just a few minutes. Back in 2 minutes. All right, we are back and we are not muted. Well, EVC is muted, but that's okay. We are back.
I am muted.
Not a laptop stream without someone being muted. All right,
trying
so
to,
before,
be like you, man. I just want to grow up to be like you someday.
well, maybe we can model together sometime. Maybe. All right, I'm completely off topic now. You got me flustered here. Like you talking about walking down a runway. Okay. Where was I? It's been a long morning already.
It's been a long morning.
All right. EVC is going to be here for a little bit time. He's going to help us with the bounty draft. We'll get that started in a sec. But EVC, maybe as I'm going through some of these, maybe you can do the shout outs in the chat here. Because now that we got a bunch of people here, I want to remind you that there are a lot of great affiliates and non-affiliates that do streaming on Out of the Park Baseball. And of course, coming up after this show here, we've got Dr. Dynastic, who will be coming up. Most of you know Dr. Dynastic does a great show, does some calling of games. He should be a professional baseball broadcaster, has some experience in that. So go check out Dr. Dynastic if you haven't been there yet. Later on tonight, of course, we've got Ezra. Ezra Denny is back from his 2 weeks board game week vacation. He's probably played a lot of board games over that time, and he's back with his San Francisco late 1950s franchise. So if you want to see how Willie Mays and some of the other top players from the 50s play, go check him out tonight at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. Tesuiji, who does a great, redacted league kind of baseball team. He does, I think does he do the Colorado Rockies still? I think he does.
Rockies every Wednesday. I think at 5 p.m. now.
Yep. Rockies on Wednesday. Cavacom, a new affiliate to the streaming world. I know a lot of you make your way on Sunday. Basically, he controls the Sunday airwaves. Does, again, 8 hours, depending on how long his team is in the playoffs. Cavacom will stream. So if you need drops on a Sunday, definitely you can go to him. And not an affiliate yet, but Don't Cut the D Block Dragon has been doing some streaming, and he's going to be streaming, I think, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday early in the morning because he's off in Germany, and he's going to be streaming the early rounds of the PTCS like he did the last time when he came in second place in bronze. So go check out Don't Cut the D Block Dragon. Again, so many affiliates. I can't name them all because it would take forever. But one final shout out to our three online leagues that run. There's the PBE Sim that just started their new season. Hound Streamer is coming out of the gates on fire with Rhino Legs, stealing bases like there's no tomorrow. Rhino Legs is. So PBE Sim. We also have the Commish, FKN Commish with EMLB, and you get to create players there. I'm still in AA, but working my way up, hopefully, with the Montreal Expos. And of course, Nershabenko with his online league. He runs the Toronto Blue Jays, and he is usually on in the mornings and on the weekend. Like I said, so many that I feel bad for leaving people out, but I do want to mention some that are coming up in the next day or so. So go check them out. All right, bounty time. Deal or no deal? You see the instructions underneath EVC there. It is prime time, baby. Prime time. Deal or no deal rules. All choices after the perfect round have to have a prime number 2, 3, 5, or 7 as the last digit in their overall rating. So 57, 97, 93, you get the picture. Prime numbers only after the perfect round. If you take the deal and you knock us out of the tournament, you will receive 5 extra packs. If you win the tournament and you took the deal, you will not only get the 3 packs from within the game, but 5 extra packs as well. If you beat us and win the tournament, you're going to get 13 packs. 3 from within the game and 5 for meeting those 2 goals there. So if you have what it takes, get into the bounty. It is ID 655 in the quick drafts. 6 people have entered already. And we'll see how we can do with these prime numbers.
Laugh.
Student in the back. Yeah, you.
Yeah. What if there's no 2, 3, 5, or 7 available in the round?
Sucks to be you. You go with a short team.
You're a fun teacher, but you hurt my feelings.
If you if you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen. No, I don't know. It's a random generator, so if hopefully you'll get at least one of those. It might not be a player you would normally draft, but that's the fun of it. Taking a chance. All right, let's bring up our screen here. So like I said, we haven't won with Charles or Isadafo. Let's see if EVC can do this. It's just a regular tournament, no special modifiers, no special stadium, default stadium. So it's one Cavacom would do well on default.
Oh, that's mean. So we can take any perfect.
Yeah, any perfect. And look who's in the packs. Look who's in the drafts.
Can we compare? Oh, this is interesting. Johnny Evers versus Matt Olson, who just came in as a PT Light. I don't know, man. I kind of like Evers. I like defense, but do you like pop? I mean, the most homers versus the most defense. Where do you want to go, Lap?
Okay, well, you know me. I mentioned synchronicity a lot. We just got a new program out today. How could we not, for our very first choice, take one of those cards?
Fair enough.
We have to.
There you go.
There we go. Now the danger comes in.
Well, we've got 3 to choose from. And I like that Bill Pierce card a lot because he can catch, he can play first. Yeah, I think he's definitely the best out of that group.
Okay.
Okay. We have one choice, so go pick Mickey Lolich. Oh, wait, we have...
Oh, no, we have one.
Sam Streeter. Let's compare those two. I have not looked at these in a while.
Okay. Streeter and Lolich. Pretty
underwhelming P. Babbitt for both, huh?
Yeah.
Probably Lolich with slightly better P. Babbitt, slightly better control. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? I think Lolich.
I'm thinking, why isn't 1 a prime number? Anyone know why isn't 1 a prime number?
I was going to ask you. I thought 1 is 1. Is there a difference of prime numbers? It's only 2, 3, 5, and 7.
Yeah, you math guys out there, how come 1 isn't a prime number? I'm just curious on that. Let's see what they say here. 2, 3, 5, 7 are the ones that we're going with here. So yeah, even if someone says yes, Slap, it is a prime number, you missed it. Too bad. I messed up.
No, it's divided by its. Well, I don't know.
Okay. All right. So you said Lolich? Yeah, let's go.
Lolich.
One is the loneliest number, Cub fan Steve. I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Prime number has to also have itself as a factor, so 1 can't be a factor. I don't know.
That's why I can't. Yeah, that's why I can't use it.
That's the answer that people gave. Okay, 2, 5, and 7. We've got. Is that Kent DeColvey? Yikes! Here we go. That's all we got.
2, 3, 5, and 7.
Yeah, I got DeColvey.
Well, kind of dumb rule. No, 3.
I know. What dumb rules? Who made up the rules on this?
We got a couple 3s.
1 was a prime number until the 20th century, says Andy.
Oh, really? Oh, we got Hobie Milner and Heilman.
Works. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
the math is dumb.
You need a new hat that looks like this.
I need a bigger screen. I can't see the cards.
All right. So we got Milner or we got Heilman. For sure, we'll take Contovey or Tekulve.
How bad is Heilman's P. Babbitt? Let's do Heilman versus Foley. 68-76. I am not loving that.
Were there any other 83s? Oh, yeah, we got Foley as well.
Let's go with Foley.
No.
For the Detroit Tigers.
No, this guy's better than Foley, EVC.
Yeah, take Milner.
Okay. All right, so we've got Shields, Ramirez, Garcia, McCall, Lavelle. We got a lot of choices here.
I think Bill McCall is very good.
All right. I'm leaving it in your hands here.
Oh,
who else?
I always like to check, and then
yeah, McCall's good.
Yeah, that'll work.
For a second guy,
not Shields.
Not Lavelle. Way too splitty.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go with Aramis.
Yep. Let's get the Babbitt working. Or do we want Garcia? Ooh. Let's compare them. It's the same card.
It is the same card.
Well, they got similar. They got similar names.
I do the same thing. I do it.
Oh, and there's Two old guys trying to work
Just take
technology.
Airman's Rotusi. I'm tired of doing this.
Riveting. Okay, compare player. Oh, okay, we're just taking the third baseman. All right.
I'm not feeling good. Got Matt Stairs and Niger Morgan, who can steal, I believe.
George
And
Davis.
Justin Steele. Ugh. Defense is horrible.
Yeah, I think it's either going to be Davis, Ottavino. No, we can't take Ottavino. Davis or Morgan, I think.
Take a look at Morgan again. Yes, bench the guys who are not prime. If you had to pick a prime guy.
Yeah. Bench him or put him on reserve list.
Morgan did good stolen base, right? You comparing? Yeah. Wow.
Come on, this isn't a Warbot stream. Come on, we got.
I don't know, man. I'm
minutes.
not loving it either. Go take Niger. Go take Niger Morgan.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like I'm failing you on this one.
Now we're on to silver. Let's see if we can get that one Kansas City silver PT elite card. Cano. Joe Kelly is probably pretty good. Yeah, I like Joe Kelly.
Yeah, go take Joe Kelly, and we're really hurting on pitching, but yeah, use Joe Kelly. He can go everywhere. What's Haley Harding look like? Bottom right. I like that. Good second baseman.
Yeah. Yeah, better than okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Kenley for sure.
That sounds good. And
maybe Ernie Johnson.
We have a shortstop. We have a third baseman. We have that shortstop's actually a second baseman. Ernie Johnson's good. Get the pitcher. Yeah, get Ernie Johnson.
Or yeah, I think we go. Let's take pitchers while we can. But we need catchers too. We got to keep an eye out for catchers.
Catchers,
Matt Carpenter, good second baseman.
Better first baseman, but yeah.
Yeah.
He's not gonna run your second baseman. We've already got a good second baseman in Harding. We need a shortstop, we need catchers, and we need pitchers. And can Citrone be placed short?
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, Grantham's not bad. He plays second and third.
Yeah, we just have a second baseman already, so I'm not sure.
Not a lot of choices, though. I mean, we could take another outfielder, LaFleur. Good speed.
Yeah, take Ron LaFleur. Let's do that. Not a great card, but what's Kimbrough look like? Oh, Kimbrough's not eligible. Okay,
not eligible.
Your choice, Grantham or Carpenter. I'm not. There's no pitching. We're really going to be hurting for pitching.
Yeah.
This is an ugly draft.
It is, but we're going to get some meta bronze because I'm a bronze guy. We're going to get some bronze. Look at that. We've got Grandal. We got to take Grandal. We have to.
Okay.
Because we don't know how many catchers we're going to get.
It's not the good Grandal, but it'll work.
Oh, Joey Bart. We can take maybe both now and get both catchers because there's 3 more to come. Do we want to gamble on one of them being a prime number?
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. But
Cole Hamels is pretty good too for a bronze pitcher.
Is he?
Not as good as I thought. He's okay.
Yeah, the PBAT was not great. I'd pass. Get your catchers. I like that.
Okay,
How
let's
many
get the
pitchers do we
catchers.
have? We have four.
We've
We have only
got
one
not
starting
bad.
pitcher.
We've got 6. We got 6.
Okay.
3 rounds to go. Okay, back to what do we need? We need a shortstop and pitching.
And we are SOL. Are there any 2, 3, 5, 7s on this? Mike Ford.
Mike Ford, Alvarez as a catcher, of course. We weren't patient. Those are the only 2 we can take.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have no choice.
And we have Bill Pierce who can catch. So we definitely over. Oh, well. I was not thinking.
Okay, Drew Hutchinson is a pitcher. We just got to take pitchers here. Ryan Sweeney.
Who made up these rules?
Charles.
You gonna blame Charles? He's not here. I like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Sweeney or Tyke Redmond. Do we have a center fielder? We don't have a center fielder, do we?
No, we better take Redmond.
Yeah. Not great, but
okay. 2. There's 5 cards. We better get to be able to actually submit a roster. We need at least 7 pitchers. So we better get at least 1. Okay. Zip counts.
Zip. And uh-oh.
Zippity doo dah. Okay, we get Rodriguez. He counts.
Spore's got 7 catchers, so I feel better.
Oh, does he? Wrong deal or no deal, Spore.
Steve Finley, I guess, is the only other one, right? Everything else doesn't fit.
You know, considering we had to take 5, that I consider that a victory.
And just take like a 40 just to kind of make sure it's nothing playable.
Yeah.
It's something good.
I just want to double check. 9804440.
Oh, they're gonna make you play Amos Wingingham. So don't take a hitter. So you don't get someone who'll pitch. Pitcher.
Okay. All right. So if you were like us and didn't quite get a full roster, although we were pretty close, we have to go and bench. Who was that? This guy, Dan Buden. So you can do that by going to their strategy and bench player for like 60 days so they don't play in the tournament, or you can simply right click on them and go to transaction, send to reserve roster, and guaranteed they won't play that way. Now we got to take a look if any of our hitters can pitch.
Yeah, pitching ratings.
Bill Pierce. We got 4 catchers.
Oh, Bill Pierce in the pen.
Bill Pierce, welcome.
Hey, Bill Pierce.
Yeah, baby. Chat, how do you like that? Did you guys get any luck like that? Who else? Mike Ford.
Can he pitch?
Yep.
I guess he can.
He's got 60
stamina.
Yeah, look at this guy. Let's bring him up here. Mike Ford, 33 hold runners. All right. He's got a fastball.
Yikes.
Yeah. Yikes. Welcome to the pen. Mike Ford. So we kind of did know what we were doing. We're making lemonade out of the lemons we were given, EVC.
Yes, so many lemons. So many lemons.
Long relief, avoid high leverage.
Put them in mop up.
And mop up, yeah.
There we go.
So we've got 3, we got some really good bullpen guys in Jansen, and Tekulve, but they're all going middle relief. But you guys can go more often. There we go.
Yeah.
What is this, best of 5 or best of 7? I can't remember what this is.
Better not be best of 7. We have no chance of getting it through a round. Okay.
Let's just go with the Hawk Report bounty here because it's done so well.
I'm going to blame that, not me this time if we don't win. It's your strategy.
All right, now we got to look at our batters. We've got batters. Let me tell you, we've got hitters.
Do we?
Okay, we got almost all utility 2 filled up. That's a victory there. Okay.
I thought they were songs, Andy. Andy's saying that the song names in the pack reward missions. So there was Rocket Man. I felt like there's a lot of David Bowie going on. Well, that was, I guess, Rocket Man is Elton John, though, right? Yeah, this draft is like
yeah, Elton John. Yeah. Okay, well, we will keep an eye on that as the day goes on. And let's see how full we are here. I don't see it here. Where is it? Perfect draft. There it is. Oh yeah, it's fired off. Now I got to go back and make sure our settings.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah. You guys were quick drafting. Holy smokes.
Well, we were all over the place.
Excuse me,
I was all over the place. Fine. Okay. I'll take full blame.
Thank you.
One is, yeah.
Thank you.
But you had the rules that made it this way.
We will we will
made me this way.
Equally accept blame 60-40. Okay.
I always like you taking the 60%. You always take that extra. Laptop, you're always taking the extra.
No, you're taking 60.
No, but you always take the extra. You go the extra mile. I think you should get the 60%.
Yeah, but whenever you go to McDonald's, you ask for the extra value meal. So you take the extra. Do you guys have those in the US? Do you have extra value meals?
We do. I don't know. Was there value meals for a while? They decided to call them extra value meals. Like, what made the difference? I don't know.
You pay a little more and you get a little more fries, or you get a bigger pop.
I thought it was just you want a large, medium, or small of the value meal.
No,
it's been a while.
You can upsize it. That's what we called it in Canada. They would ask you, "Would you like to upsize your meal?" And you can pay a little more and upsize it. So,
if it's free.
It is. And, speaking of upsizing, the way this show has gone, we need to upsize our show, I think, a little bit. We need to find out what the heck is going on and bring in someone that knows what they're doing and is dressed for the occasion.
I mean, so he's been on TV, if I understand. Look at that.
Whoa.
Oh, hey.
Who cloned Charles and brought in this debonair guy? What's going on?
It's been a long day, but what I'll do is when we get an ad break, I can change into something more baseball-y, but
Okay, please make sure your camera's off though when you do that, because we don't want this going viral for the wrong reasons.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
Okay. Well, we got 3 minutes before our ad break, so apparently you were a big star in Copenhagen.
Well, it's like being big in Japan, except, smaller.
I think there was a big in Japan discussion already today, wasn't there?
Was there?
There was a big in Japan reference, which I've forgotten. Oh. We have the same haircut, people are saying.
Well, let's check this out. I'm going to remove myself.
We've been on stream together. People have always said like we're the same person, just slightly removed.
Well, okay, but the question is, do we get the same hat?
Well, we got similar paintings behind us, right? There's square things behind us.
That's true. I'm trying to see what yours is. I can't quite make out.
It's a Kandinsky ripoff.
Okay.
Nice. Are you guys done? Can I come back in now?
I have tried to do as badly at these imperfect drafts as you, Charles. So I think I've accomplished my part of the mission in drafting extremely poorly, because this guy over here has just crazy rules he did this week. Prime numbers. We want to understand, though, when did the 1 stop being a prime number? And I think you might be able to actually tell us this.
I don't think it ever was a prime number, right?
Why? Why can't 1 be a prime number?
Because there are a lot of bad technical definitions I can give that wouldn't be so good.
Okay. All right. We don't want the mathematicians coming after us here. They can be pretty rough, I hear. All right.
Basically, because it can't be divided by two different numbers. It can only be divided by one. I guess that's one way to say it.
Yeah, it's only a factor of itself, so it breaks down just like everything else.
Yeah.
And then why is Pluto not a planet?
But really the answer is because you want prime factorization to be unique.
I'm responding yes.
Right. So like if I say what's the prime factorization of 10, then I can say it's 2 times 5, but if 1 were prime, I could also say it's 2 times 5 times 1, or 2 times 5 times 1 squared, or something like that.
Okay, I'll buy that.
Viewership is dropping pretty quick here, guys. I'm just watching.
Math should be taught this way, though. This is a lot more fun learning math this way, right?
Sesame Street works better. Count
EBC
Dracula.
2 times 5 times 1 would not work. Or EBC times 2 times 3 times 1.
The problem is that every time I do an OOTP stream, it's brought to you by the letter E.
The letter F, what? S plus?
No, it's brought to you by the letter E, or sometimes K, depending on if we're batting or fielding.
I'm happy to be sponsoring this stream as an E. Okay. This has gone well.
I don't know how to interpret all the binary being discussed in chat right now. Like it's.
Yeah. 1 to the 0 power equals 1 to the first power equals 1 to the second power.
This is true.
You know what? I think this is a good time for an ad break, guys. and EVC, I think you have to run. So if you can't stick around for after the ad break, this is a great time for you to go. And
actually, no, we should definitely get EVC to stick around at least for the quiz, if possible, because he'd have a lot of fun with the.
I unfortunately, my bed of 3/4 is asking me to go get some groceries, and I need to do that.
Okay.
Okay.
What we could do is we could wait for the quiz till you get back.
Only buy prime number of groceries there, EVC.
I will only buy prime number of each grocery item, so I can now buy 1. I have to buy at least 2 or 3. Use Instacart.
Yeah, I'll think about it there. Don't cut the block dragon. I don't know. We've all had long days. All right, back after the break. Thank you, EVC, for popping in and rescuing me until Charles got here. And if we're still on when you get back, feel free to pop on in and check out how we're doing. All right.
Take care, everybody.
Okay, back in 2 minutes' time. And when we come back, we'll take a look at the matchups in the bounty, see who's playing with who. And then we'll maybe get into some cards or some trivia. Trivia is coming up soon, though. Back in 2 minutes. Charles, you can go get changed.
Good. I will also be back in a moment. Remember to turn off the camera.
Okay. There you go, chat. Everyone that subscribes or doesn't have ads, you heard it here first. Charles is changing. Welcome back in. 10 seconds left on the first draw. Exclamation ticket, exclamation enter into the chat. Let's see who we can give away 5 packs to right off the bat, ending in 5 and 4 and 3, 2, 1. Let's close this off. All right. 41 entries. Again, we already have one winner today. Leo Remus was the first to guess the early bird card. And before we draw our winner, Charles, have you had any chance to look at or download today's cards?
Just grabbing the card shop now. I saw a little bit at the beginning of the TWIP stream, so I saw kind of what PT Elite was, but that's about as far as I got. So what's your reaction? I haven't seen them yet.
There's some good cards. Yeah, there's some good cards. Again, I didn't have a lot of time to look at. I did see a lot of blue in a lot of cards and a lot of power eye combinations, which I know you like a lot. So
Yep.
only one silver, a few gold, most of them were diamonds. So yeah, we'll have a chance to look at those.
Yeah, I'm
Brent?
thinking kind of really good versions of modern cards should be a pretty good fit for the current game, right? Because it's kind of been this, really modern, like 3 true outcomes kind of style. So that's what a lot of hitters are doing.
Yeah. Brent, I'll after the stream, I'll get a hold of you on Discord and I'll let you know how to do that. So if you're subscribed to, many different people on Twitch and you eventually want to end subscriptions, pretty easy to do. You have to go into your Twitch and turn off auto bill and things like that. So I can explain that to you after the chat. All right. Next winner of 5 packs is Guanquos. How would you pronounce that, Charles? Guanquos?
Guanquos. Sure. Let's go with Guanquos.
Guanquos.
But it depends, right? Because it could be like Quebecois.
Oh, oui. Yeah. All right. Guanquos, if you are still in the chat here, send me a whisper because that's how I can keep track of things, and let me know what your perfect team username is. So if I don't get that, then I don't know who to give packs to. So hopefully you're still around and can send me a whisper at some point in the stream. All right, we're going to mark this one as complete. We will fire off another one and let that run for a bit and do another draw a little bit later. So again, at some point, exclamation enter, exclamation ticket. You can enter one time and we'll do another draw for 5 packs in just a bit. Trivia, we'll wait on just a little bit for trivia. So if you're waiting to play some trivia, hang on. We'll get to that in maybe 15, 20 minutes, or we might start it after the next break, actually. So yeah, 20 minutes from now, we'll get started on trivia. We do want to.
I see Squeegee's here. He might enjoy this week's trivia, so definitely stick around.
I sent him a message already and said, you could win this week because there's a lot of Canadian references. No. No. We've had that before. All right, let's see who we're matched up against. Actually, EVC and I are matched up against in the bounty.
Yes, I did actually go through Canada this week, but I didn't really get a chance to stop. So
did you? No, you didn't pick up any Expos or Blue Jays memorabilia?
I tried, but basically I discovered that the Montreal airport, they have a really weird way of getting people through customs. So I was supposed to have about 2 hours for a layover, and they put you in the customs line. It just doesn't move. And they wait till you're about to miss your plane. Then they frantically pull you out of the line and get you through. So.
And you couldn't even get a Tim Hortons coffee, could you?
No, I couldn't. And not only that, but it turns out that the international part of the Montreal airport doesn't have a Timmy's. The domestic terminals all do. The international terminal does not.
Well, that's Canada for you. Okay. Yankees.
I'll tell you later. Let's do the bounty first.
Okay. Facing up in round 1, it is the Yankees and the Robins. We've got STA, the Rocketchaws, who have won a recent bounty, I believe, going up against Pop Stongoria's Wood Ducks. We got Spore. Oh, I love this matchup. We got two Detroit fans facing off in round one. Spore and Who trying to ball. Go. We. You know, the good thing is we get rid of one Detroit team right off the bat. It's a good thing. Shh. We've got Fussmuckers, George Carlin going up against Tetsuiji. We've got Sean Souls Rangers going up against the Dodgers, run by the Hoosman. We are going up against. You don't know the story about this, Charles, but
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, it was Don't Cut the D Block Dragon that was just slaying me every time we met up. This week, it's been this guy. This guy. Lord Christic has won more packs from me this last 10 days or so. And we're up against him again.
Is Lord Christic in, who is that in the chat?
Yeah, I think there he is.
Lord Christic.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah. It's been a fine week for you, maybe. Yeah. It's been a fine week. So yeah, we synchronicity, we get matched up. Maybe today is the day. We've got the dugout facing off against the Wheat Checks Locomotives. And then we've got Wolfman and the Michigan Wolves going up against IML4 Haymakers. So I recognize most of these. So if we win, we'll go up against either the Rangers or the Dodgers. And this is a best of 5. So let's, the first sim is already in. We might as well see what kind of day it's going to be for us here. Let's go back in and see if we have Christic's number this time. Lord Christic. Okay. Are you related to Lord Parkwad? Just curious here. All right. Well, Mickey Lolich. Again, we're short on pitchers because we could only take prime numbered players. So all the last digit had to be a prime number. So that did not help with our pitching department. A little bit better with the hitters. We did get the new Matt Olson card, and he's doing okay in his first game. But we're down 1 game already. 9-1. It's not looking pretty, EVC. If you're listening to this,
that's got to be a tough one to verify too.
No, I don't think so. Right? You just go to Tacoma Rainiers overall and prime.
Oh, you mean overall? I thought you meant like the jersey number or something.
Oh,
okay.
No. Just overall. So 2,
okay.
3.
I was going to say that's got to be a lot of clicking just to check.
I'm not doing all that work. No. So he had to reserve 1 player as well. We had to reserve 1 player. What did he get for his pitchers though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh yeah, he's got 13 pitchers. Kind of overdoing it, Christic, don't you think? Yeah, we're in trouble. We lost 9-1 and we gave up 17 hits.
I just got to say, this is the first time we've had one of these drafts, and I can actually say it's not my fault. Usually I'm the one that messes it up. So
that's right. Now we just blame EVC. if you're listening on the way to Costco, EVC, hurry back soon, okay? Because you need to be here to witness this grueling torture that we're undergoing at the expense of us with the Tacoma Rainier. So we've got we're facing this guy here, and we're going up with this guy here. So we have a shot. I think we have a shot. Okay, let's quickly get away from that. Well, let's you got the cards all ready to go? You got them all downloaded?
Just got it downloaded. Yeah, just starting to look at it, and I've got apparently like 30 missions to take a shot at too.
Yeah, a lot of people auto-completed those because it's typically live players, and so if you kept all your live cards, you're sitting pretty.
It looks like if you've been collecting all of the lives, then you did pretty well. but they're pretty tight. So if you're so even if you're missing just a couple, it looks like they're actually pretty tough missions. Is that right?
Yeah, you need like either 100% of the lives for that team or 95, 98%. You need most of the lives for that specific team. And then there are a few missions, kind of oddball missions that don't involve live players, but they're for packs. But if you want any of the cards from today, each team has a live mission with the live cards.
Sounds pretty good.
Okay. So before we continue on, we've got 36 responses here. I'll put this out one more time. If there is a specific player you want to see in Perfect Team, someone that might not get a lot of notoriety, that might be a good iron or bronze or silver player, I'm going to post in the chat the link to this Google form. You can fill it out, and Spore has been creating some community cards from time to time. No guarantee that he's going to create that card and put it in the game, but it gives him some more options for his Tuesday treasure trove chest.
And I'm going to put my usual request out. I think if we can get 100 people to ask for a Tony Suck, we might get one.
Tony. Well, we've got a few good ones already. We got Jack Wilson, Bill Swift, Tom Brunansky, Laddie Renfro, Dick Schofield. Yeah, so we're getting some good ones here. I do not see a Tony Suck yet, but I'm sure that will be coming fairly soon. Tim Burke, give some love to the Expos. So yeah, if you want a chance to have a card in the game that you requested, put a couple options and put the team that you want them from, because many players played for many teams. So again, if I want a Jesse Barfield, I want the Jays Barfield, not the Yankees Barfield. No, please, no Yankee Barfield. So if you can be specific with a year, a team, and the player's name, and on the weekend, I will pass along this updated form to Spore, and at some point, you may see one of these cards in the game. All right. Okay. Aside from Tony Suck, though, is there a player you're fond of that you would like to see that maybe isn't given a lot of love?
I think there are a bunch that I think would be fun to see, but I think actually a lot of the fun of this, honestly, is getting to run into players that I don't know much about. So, because like your favorite players are also the ones that you remember and you kind of know a lot about and that kind of thing.
Yeah. And what's really cool is when you watch some of these cards come on stream, like the Buddy Biancalana or the Evan Gaddis. We see some of these come out, and then we hear the shout out for the community member saying, "Hey, Minerva requested this," or "Rob Deere and Headlights requested this." And for me personally, I'd put a smile on my face if it was a player that I requested. When I saw that Dave Stieb legend card, it made the week. Like, I don't care what happens in Perfect Team. I don't care if I win a tournament that day. I got that Dave Stieb or that Buddy Biancalana. So thank you, Paul, for considering the community cards, because again, it's about the community and it means a lot to people if they have a favorite player and they get to see him in the game. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I think it's also that, part of it is if you have a card in mind, it's because you have some memory of, kind of how they played. And, so I think that, like if they ever decide they want us to do a content set, I've definitely got some suggestions. But I think the kinds of cards that I would be creating would be more like, this Iron Mark McGuire we got recently, which was just like a spectacularly crazy season in terms of, like the kind of bat that you have. So it's just kind of a fun player to think about, even though that's not the version of Mark McGuire we all, kind of remember, right?
So kind of these one-off seasons then.
Yeah, or like, a Ryan Domit, catcher. Just the horrible catcher ability, big bat kind of catcher.
All right. So thanks again, Spore, for considering that. And you're very welcome for collecting the names. I know how hectic things can get. And I thought, well, maybe it's easy if you have it kind of on one spreadsheet so you don't have 100 different DMs coming at you. But spotlights are in, even though there were no packable cards other than one today. I don't know if you saw the early bird card, the limited edition one that was released, but here are your spotlight possibilities. It looks very similar, I think, to last week. Oops, let's see what we have here. We've got NEL 4, Baseball Reference 4, 35K. Otherwise, you're guaranteed a silver plus. So Helton, Arenado, Cochran, Mays, Britton, Walker, Peavy, Cott, Verlander, Guidry, Campanella, and we should have home run
Johnson should be in there, yeah.
Home Run Johnson. What's his first real name here?
No, I think he's listed as Home Run.
There he is. Yep.
90, there. Yep, he's in there.
Yep. Home Run Johnson's in there. So good luck if you get the spotties. And again, if I could have one, it would probably be the Willie Mays. I think that's the one card I would want to add, although we're getting a lot of options now in the outfield. Is there a diamond other than Home Run Johnson because of the scarcity last week? Do you see a diamond here that you say, yeah, that's the diamond I want to pull?
It's a good question. Well, I guess personally, the card that I kind of most want, because I didn't pick it up before, is actually that Cal Ripken Jr., because I think I want to play him in an upcoming tournament this weekend.
Oh, is there something going on this weekend?
Yeah. There's something going on where a lot of the diamond shortstops that you would be running for some reason aren't able to play.
So just the luck of the time era, I guess. And how many of these tournaments did you qualify for this time?
I somehow missed the Open. I forgot to enter Open tournaments this time around because I confused them with the wild card.
Oh, I know you were close on a few, so you were able to squeak in like iron and bronze and
squeaked into iron and bronze, but I did actually miss the Open, which is usually actually one of the easier ones to qualify for, just because not as many people seem to play them. So often you don't have to play that many tournaments to qualify, but if you play too few, you still don't get in.
All right. Yeah, I'm hoping
that's true, Hero Driver, but that's why I can just announce them now, is that they're all public.
Yeah, and hopefully we see some Baseball Reference 4 missions along the way, because they've been in spotlights for a while now. I know a lot of them are being pulled, and I don't think there's a lot of missions involving Baseball Reference 4. So hopefully we'll see some missions come along, and I'm sure at some point cards tend to be put in missions. So, all right. Well,
actually, a good question. I'll ask you, who is there that you would really like to see a card of that you haven't had yet this cycle?
Well, okay. You know who my favorite player is. I
think I can guess who your favorite player is.
You also know which tournaments I like to play. I like to play iron, bronze, and a little bit of gold. And for some reason, I've done really well in gold the last month. But I would like, again, a Dave Stieb iron or bronze card, just because I play a lot of those tournaments. Second,
like a very end of season Stieb or something. End of career Stieb.
Yeah, end of career Stieb, because even his beginning, he might already be silver level, but he might be a bronze. I don't know. Either his rookie year or his last couple of years. The other one would be some early first year Montreal Expos, because a lot of those Montreal Expos, they had Rusty Staub and a few other well-known names, but there are a lot of guys on that team. I looked at their original roster that had good seasons. And so I did put one of them in my choices for a card I'd like to see. Player I'd never heard of before, but he had a really good season in 1969. I think that was their first year. So yeah, very early Montreal Expos or a bronze or iron Stieb. But there's a lot of good choices. Okay,
yeah,
Charles?
I think actually it's funny because the guy I most associate with like being an Expo as a kid, actually it would be fun to get an Expos Pedro as well sometime.
Yep. Yeah. Then wasn't he a April Fool one, or would no? That was. I thought we
No,
did
I think
get
that was I think that was an end of career, because the Expos version of Pedro was really good.
Yes. Yeah.
But there's actually no Delino DeShields yet either, right? That's the other guy I think of as being like a.
Right. Okay. Well, we have trivia coming up. We're going to play some trivia with a special theme today. Not the theme you might think of with today's set, but there is a specific theme. Hopefully Tessaouiji is going to have a chance to play. We'll do that in a couple minutes after our break here. And while we're on the break, Charles, one question I'm going to ask you when we come back is, where do you think Shohei Ohtani is going to end up? So think about that. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
All right. Actually, I can give everyone a teaser question before the break that we'll answer during the break.
Okay.
Which is because I've been looking for a Flyers hat, right? So on this last trip to Philadelphia, I found a store called Lids, which is at least a chain, but maybe is regional. Do they have that in Edmonton as well?
Yep. There are a lot of Lids. Yep.
Okay. So, most hats are like 30 or 40 bucks at this point, but they had exactly 2 hats in the store that were on sale for $10.
Yeah.
One of them, shockingly enough, and I got it, is a Flyers hat. $10. I've got myself a cheap Flyers hat. But that's not the quiz. The baseball quiz is, for everybody else, the other one was a baseball team. Which baseball team in the Philadelphia area did they have so much trouble selling that they'll give you the hat for $10?
All right. We'll be back in less than 2 minutes. All right, we are back, and Charles left you on a cliffhanger. He got 2 hats. One of them was the Philadelphia Flyers, and the second one, we saw some guesses in chats there. I saw
the question is, which is the hat, which is the Major League hat that you're willing to sell for $10 because no one would buy it in the Philadelphia area. We got a lot of guesses. I don't think any of them was right. I'm just looking.
Pirates, Mets, Washington, Arizona.
Oh, we eventually got one. It is not the team I expected. I figured it would be like a really bad team, but it is in fact the Astros.
The Astros.
Yes.
Wow. And is it already buried in the backyard, or you don't have it there, or what?
I wasn't actually willing to pay the $10 for it, but there was the other one they were willing to sell for $10. So you get a cheap Flyers hat, you get cheap Astros hat, everything else, is expensive.
Oh, Charles, you got your Flyers hat at Lids. And in Philadelphia, you said?
In Philadelphia, yes.
In Philadelphia. Okay.
Although it comes with a flat brim. I gotta do some work on the brim. You know, I gotta work it in a little bit. But
okay, guys, it is trivia time. Get your fingers ready to answer the questions. Charles, let me know when you see the instructions on the screen there.
all right. Yep, guys, see some instructions. Yep. Please not cheat, no honor among thieves.
Fill everyone in on what they need to do if they want to enter the contest.
Oh yeah, so all you got to do is answer the questions, but if you want to be on the leaderboard, mouse over on the right side of the screen where it says Quiz Kit, click on that, go to Manage Access, and give it permission to see your user ID so that we can put you on the leaderboard. And other than that, yeah, it's pretty simple. The faster you answer, the more points you get if you're right, the more points you lose if you're wrong. And I know you advertised it as MLB trivia, but that's not quite true this week, is it?
Not for all of them. No, not for all of them. Although there's reference to it in a vague kind of way.
Reference to it.
Yeah.
But actually, I thought it would be a little bit fun to do a little bit of trivia about baseball in Japan instead. So
okay, all right. And Charles will read the question out first before I start the timer. You'll have 15 seconds, just because some of the questions are longer, so we'll give you a little bit of a head start to think about it. Charles, do we want to award first and last, or only first? What do you think?
I think first and second might be better this week. What do you think?
Let's go first and second.
Let people try to get them right, you know.
Okay. All right. We'll award packs for first and second this week. So no race to the bottom this time. You got to know your Japanese baseball history. Okay. You ready to fire off with question one?
Fun. All right. As usual, we'll start with a couple easier ones, and then some of them get a little trickier. But start with the one I think a lot of us will get. It'll be fun to see this card in.
Wait. I was going to ask you, where does Ohtani end up?
Ooh, probably the Dodgers.
Yeah, something glitching out there. The Dodgers. No. The right answer for 15,000 points was the Toronto Blue Jays. Let's try that again. Where does Ohtani end up?
Where's Ohtani end up? Let's see. Oh, that's a good question. He's going to be the foundation of the new franchise in Montreal. How's that?
Okay, that's acceptable. That is acceptable. They're going to announce a new franchise in Montreal, and Ohtani's going to be their
Ohtani's going to be the headliner.
Okay, good. That works for me. Okay, let's go. Question number one.
All right, here we go. We'll start with one that hopefully a lot of us will get. Who holds the worldwide professional record for career home runs, having hit 868 as a player for the Yomiuri Giants?
And I'm not pronouncing any of these, Ezra, so don't even. I'm not going after any of these. Was it?
No, Japanese is great because it's completely phonetic.
Okay.
Entirely phonetic.
Feel free to pronounce them along the way.
Sure. Masahiro Doi, Koji Yamamoto, Katsuya Nomura, or Sadaharu O.
Very good. All right. Answers are in. And holy smokes, Charles. This may be our best answer. I don't think we've ever had 27 correct answers.
Very well done.
Chat.
We're going to start off with an easier one, but still, I'm glad a lot of people knew that one. So
you guys are rocking it. Let's see who the quickest response was. It was contestant 70.
So if your name is contestant 70, if that's you, remember you have to mouse over on the right for Quiz Kit, hit Manage Access, and let it see your user ID. That way you'll get your name up on the leaderboard as you deserve.
Charles, 12 people got 14,000 or higher. What kind of matrix are
Very
we
nice.
living? Wow.
All right.
Good.
See, we made them too easy this week. It's all right. They get harder.
Okay, question 2.
All right. This one's a little bit harder. What player actually played in both the game in which Hank Aaron hit his 715th, topping Ruth, and the game in which Sadaharu O hit his 756th, topping Aaron?
Wow. Jimmy Wynn, Roland Office, Davy Johnson, or Johnny Oates. I can pronounce those.
See, exactly. I had not realized there was a player that actually played in both of those games, which is kind of incredible, right?
That's a really good question. That's quite the feat to be a witness to both of those events. That would have been what, 19? When did Aaron do it? 60, 70s, 60s?
No, 74, right? And then O was a few years later.
All right, the correct answer was Davy Johnson. 10 of you were able to get that one correct. Davy Johnson.
Yeah, David Johnson went over to Japan afterward. Nice.
All right, and again, we
Yeah,
had
EVC Davy Johnson did play in Japan. Actually, I think he came back and even coached there a little bit, right? But he was the first player that played. He was the first foreigner they brought over to the Yomiuri Giants for a while. So he went there and then came back to the U.S. afterward. Played for the Phillies and Cubs at the end of his career.
Okay.
So,
question number 3.
all right. Opening in 1998, the Yomiuri Giants' home stadium was modeled after the stadium of what major league team?
Yankees, Twins, Mariners, or Astros? 1988 Giants.
I'll ask you, if you were to think like in the 80s of what is the coolest stadium that you could like model yours after, which one would you have picked?
Candlestick Park. No, I don't. I don't know what probably I would have went with like the Metrodome, like a domed kind of stadium, because I'm sure they get a lot of weather problems there. So maybe some sort of dome.
The only thing I know for sure I would not have picked Veterans Stadium, that where the Phillies were. But I might have modeled it after like Wrigley or Fenway or one of these historic parks, Yankee Stadium.
Yeah. Yeah. So as Tetsuiji says, there is a lot of rain in Japan, so it makes sense that they would want some sort of lid, and it's called the Big Egg, apparently.
When they opened it, it was just Big Egg, and then now they call it the Tokyo Dome instead. But yeah, no, it's kind of become an iconic thing. Like people even talk about something as being like 5 times the size of the Tokyo Dome or whatever. So
EVC's in line in Costco right now on his phone, and he's participating. Great to see. or maybe not Costco, maybe somewhere else. And look at that. He was the quickest to ring in there, and number 1 on that question. So again, we're giving prizes for first and second this week, not a race to the bottom. Okay.
Well, Tetsuiji may have a lock on first, so we got to give somebody else a shot.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. That there's a couple of tricky ones. Next up.
All right. Which of these MLB Hall of Famers actually played the final season of his career in Japan?
Goose Gossage, Larry Doby, Richie Ashburn, or Luke Appling? Future Hall of Famer. That's.
Yeah.
Do you know which year it was?
Yes, it was 1962. I guess that's a bit of a hint for people that are still answering. But
all right, 1962. Well, if they did answer, it was at the very end.
Although Goose did also go over to Japan for a little bit, but then came back. But
Wow,
yeah,
did you know?
Larry Doby actually went over and played with the Chunichi Dragons.
I'm just shocked because EBC said there's no Costco in New York City. I would have lost a lot of money on that. Can't believe there's no Costco there. Okay, so
You're a big Costco guy, or?
well, $1.50 hot dogs, no matter wherever you are in
Sure.
this wonderful world. Yeah. EVC is going to give Tesuiji's a run for his money here.
Nice.
Okay. I think
All right. And
Tesuiji got that one wrong.
speaking of those Chunichi Dragons.
Well, wait a second. Look who's first overall.
Oh, very nice.
Okay.
All right. Speaking of those Chunichi Dragons, what former Major League MVP hit 262 with 12 homers, primarily as a first baseman for the Chunichi Dragons, also in 1962?
Newcomb, Elliott, Jensen, or Rosen? 1962.
So this is a little bit tricky, actually. Because the thing that was amazing to me was that this player did as a first baseman.
Right. You would think it would be as a pitcher?
Yeah. Yeah, Newcomb actually came in. He only threw like 4 innings as a pitcher. He played for a little bit of right field, but mostly first base for the Dragons. It's kind of incredible that he actually was that good of a hitter that he could basically just play first base full time.
Well, there are a lot of knowledgeable baseball fans out there about players playing over in Japan. So color me impressed. I'm really, really impressed that you guys know your Japanese baseball.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you got for us next?
All right, here we go. All right, this one may be a little harder. We'll see. What Hawaiian-born pitcher renounced his American citizenship in 1941 to stay in Japan, winning 2 Japanese Baseball League MVPs in the process?
Wow. Bucky Harris, Victor Starfin, Go, or Tadahashi?
Wakabayashi.
Yes. Thank you. Hawaiian-born pitcher, 1941. Wow, players went over to play in Japan that early, huh?
Yeah, well, he had come over even a bit earlier, but then with World War II, basically he decided to stay and give up his American citizenship to do it. Yeah, Victor Starfin's actually Russian.
Oh, wow. Okay, let's take a look at who rang in on that one. Rob Deere and Headlights. Very, very quick over Tesuiji and Ajax. There you see our overall scores. Tesuiji back up into the lead. Been on a little bit of a roll. Okay. Oh, and I did add a 16th question. So there's 16 questions overall.
Okay.
Next up.
All right. And actually, until Wakabayashi, they assigned numbers just alphabetically, but he refused to wear the number 4 because it was unlucky. So he instead kind of picked a different number. So which number is that? Which has since traditionally been assigned to star pitchers. I realize Wakabayashi doesn't sound like alphabetically it would be 4th, but that's the order of the Japanese alphabet, basically.
There were a lot of players that had XYZ in their last name.
But this is the number that a lot of Japanese pitchers have worn in the majors too when it's available.
What's the significance to that? Is there some historical significance to 18?
That's what no, it was specifically Wakabayashi. So he refused to wear number 4 because it has a bad connotation. So they just gave him the next number that was free, which was 18. And then since then, everyone decided, oh, I want to wear number 18 like Wakabayashi. And so it became, kind of the number that you want as a star pitcher.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah, Yeah. Matsuzaka wore it. Yeah, it's kind of traditionally the.
And so when they come to the major leagues, a lot of them choose 18 then if it's available.
Yeah, exactly. If it's available.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you wear the number of your favorite player, right?
Right. Okay, what do we got for question 8?
Question 8, actually, I should mention. I got to find a video for you, because one of my favorite experiences at a baseball game in Japan was going to a Swallows game where everyone brings their own umbrellas and props, and they do an umbrella dance every time they hit a home run and stuff. But the point is they play in this historic, well, now Meiji, for a sponsor, Meiji Jingu Stadium. And the first home run in that stadium was actually hit during a 1926 barnstorming tour by what American?
Ruth, Dixon, Mackey, or Hack Wilson? 1926 barnstorming tour.
So
first home run. So yeah, if Tetsuiji maybe can find me a little video clip of the umbrella ceremony or the stadium celebration, and then I can post that on. Or Charles, if you find one over the break.
Sure, let me find one. Or if someone else has one, you can put it in chat.
All right, answer is coming in, and 8 people correctly guessed Biz Mackey.
If I'm seeing if I can find one for you. Tetsuiji, you got a good one?
Okay, so I'll get that one from Tetsuiji.
It's actually incredible. The fans for all of these, like, they come with props, and they've got, kind of a specific thing they do, the player hits a home run, or just, it's a lot of fun.
This way, let me get some audio on there. All right, very cool. So you saw that at the stadium when you visited?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everyone kind of brings their props, and so they get to, so like, it's part of being in the official fan club, and like getting in the the section of seats with the fan club, and you bring your props, and it's kind of a thing. It's like it's like these different, like, ultra fan groups in soccer or something like that.
Yeah, and unlike in hockey, where the Detroit Red Wings throw octopi on the ice, or Florida, they throw rats on the ice in celebrations. So this is a little bit more loving, for sure.
Nicer to the rats, at least.
All right, one more question, and then we got to take a quick break before we finish it off.
All right. This is a fun one. The Hanshin Tigers were said to be cursed following a 1985 incident involving which of these?
Ooh. Was it Mr. T, Antonio Inaki, Mario, or Colonel Sanders? What a question.
Things happen.
Following an incident by one of those. All right, we're going to leave it on a cliffhanger here because the break's about to kick in. We'll be back in 2 minutes' time, and Charles will tell us the story about what the heck went on back in 2 minutes. All right, we're back here, Charles, and tell us the story of how Colonel Sanders and baseball in Japan came into play.
Here, I can give you. I should give you a link to a picture of this too. One second, I'll put it in the. So basically, in 1985, in celebration, so KFCs in Japan often have like a little statue of Colonel Sanders outside, and they basically celebrated by sort of trashing the statue and throwing it in the river. And then since then, they couldn't win. And so they actually, in 2009, they actually went and like recovered the statue of the Colonel. Here, I can send you a picture of it. They recovered a statue of the Colonel. They recovered it, put it back up, and then finally this year they broke the curse. So.
Oh man! So the one I'm showing here is missing an arm, unfortunately. But
well, no, it's missing an arm because they cut off the hand and is part of the celebration. I think it was a whole.
Oh,
see, I guess even can find the details now.
wow. Well, I cannot read
Japanese.
Japanese.
That's right. They won that year, but they. Yeah.
While you're doing that, a little bit of hockey talk. Of course, who trying to ball? Detroit Red Wing fan and Patrick Kane back in the lineup for Detroit tonight. Of course, we got Boiled Egg here, big Washington Capital fan, talking some Capital hockey. What else we got going on? That statue is, as we're saying, that statue is. I can't read it now.
You know what? Tasweji is saying if you want to let him in, he can definitely tell the story, which maybe isn't even. That's maybe a better plan. We should get the expert in here.
Okay. Well, yeah. Let's do that quick. Let me put the result of that question. Let's show the scores first of all.
But it is most definitely Colonel Sanders that is responsible. So.
Okay, and as Denny said, Colonel Sanders or Kentucky Fried Chicken is pretty big there. They're no longer Kentucky Fried Chicken. I think it's just KFC.
I think it's just KFC. Actually, when I was there, it was like a whole sit-down restaurant. It even had like a fountain and stuff. Like it was like a surprisingly upscale thing.
All
I mean,
right.
I guess technically, all the fast food places you can sit down and eat, but I mean, it was the kind of thing that like you would actually go to in order to sit down and eat.
Okay. Well, we do have an expert on Japanese baseball, so welcome all in, fellow affiliate Tetsuiji.
So you have come to avail yourself of my knowledge. Okay, so as a dyed-in-the-wool Hanshin Tigers fan, let me explain the situation.
I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's in 1985. The Tigers have won the pennant, the Central League pennant, for the first time in over 2 decades. And the fans are, of course, losing their gourds. They're so excited. So the fans start cheering for specific players on the team. And anyone in the crowd who looks like that player goes jumping into the Dotonbori Canal that runs through the middle of downtown Osaka. So they're fine for all the Japanese guys. But nobody looks like Randy Bass, big hulking American slugger. So what do they find? That statue. And they chuck it in the river. They then go on to win the Japan series. So the curse of the Colonel being that they weren't able to win a Japan series after the statue, incorrect. It did take until 2009 to fish the thing out, but in the meantime, the Tigers won more pennants in 2003 and 2005. They just didn't win the championship. It was only this year that they won their second ever franchise history Japan series. And that's the bottom line.
And where is the statue now? In front of City Hall or something? Someone said.
No, it's safely squared away at KFC headquarters in Tokyo, nowhere near Osaka.
They did put it in a KFC just to,
Oh, Colonel Sanders, the stories. And
how did you become a Hanshin Tigers fan then?
The rule is whichever team you sit in the outfield cheering section for first becomes your ride or die club. And for me, that was the Tigers in 2015. I had been to a Japanese baseball game before in 2013, the first time I was visiting my friend over there.
I see.
But we were in the infield seats. When you're in the outfield, when you got the cheering section, it's cut the boss, da, 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 all the time. When your team's up to bat, it's hard not to get swept up in that infectious energy.
That is true. See, my problem is that couldn't work because I was based around Chiba, and I just could not get behind a Bobby Valentine team.
Yeah. If you're looking on YouTube, Zen of Bobby V is a fun watch just to see his experience coaching in Japan, alongside Trey Hillman, another guy, another foreigner who's coaching his opposition in that year's postseason.
Well, there you go. And so many fun stories I'm sure you could educate us on. And someday
Yes,
we'll have
but I
to
will
do
let you
just-
get back to that so I can win this contest.
Well, oh,
Yes.
okay. Give it
That's
up
true.
for
We
Luigi.
do have to give you a chance to get your packs.
All right, I'm out of here. Take care, you two.
Okay. Well, thanks, Tetsuiji, for popping in. Let's do a question first before he's ready here. Okay. What do you got next first?
All right. Here we go. All right. This is one about maybe the other side of Americans' reputations. What American was such a poor fit when moving from Major League Baseball to Japan that he only lasted 14 games and actually lent his name to a slang word meaning goof off?
Well, Boyer, Pepitone, Repose, or Antonaveris?
Yeah. So he apparently would do things like, say he was sick and then get, caught in nightclubs and, but was too sick to play the next day kind of thing.
Okay. Well, one of them reminds me of a pharmaceutical kind of thing that you can use.
Yeah. To be fair, this was also a guy that basically, got blackballed from Major League Baseball because people didn't want to put up with him, I guess. So.
All right. Answers are in, and it is 14 people got this one correct.
Nice.
Okay. Okay, let's fire through these because we got a few cards to talk about. We're not going to talk about all the cards because I do want to over right into a Dr. Dynastic, but we'll get through a few of them. Let's go on to question number 11, I think, 10 or 11.
Sure. All right. The Koshien is a nationally televised baseball tournament for what kind of teams?
High school, college, city adult, or little league?
It's basically the biggest amateur event in Japan, huge TV. Think about it, the equivalent of like the Little League World Series in terms of the TV ratings and stuff. But it's actually sort of a bigger event than that by quite a bit.
When does that take place? Spring, summer, fall?
Technically, I should have said summer Koshien, but yeah, but like August. Yeah, that's
Gotcha.
right. It kicks the Tigers out of their own park for like 3 weeks. So they get a big 3-week road trip in the middle just to clear out for the tournament.
All right,
It's
let's
an
show the
absolutely
scores.
crazy tournament. Yeah, for all these high school teams, and the winning Koshien team will typically play something like 5 games over 9 days. Sometimes there's usually an additional play in, or there's a tie game and you play back to back, but often it's like 5 games over 9 days. What is the most pitches a single pitcher has thrown in a Koshien? Yuki Saito actually did this, and it was.
Sorry. Oh yeah. Here it is. Yeah. Okay. So I thought I didn't know if that was the next question. So it's up now. What is the most pitches thrown in a single Koshien? One pitch of that many.
They let pitchers throw a lot of pitches in these things. It's
5 games over 9 days plus some additional play-in. One pitcher, man. He needs some Bayer. He needs some Advil, Tylenol. after all that an ice pack.
Yeah.
And this was really
They're not
split.
they're not big on protecting their pitchers. It was in fact 948 pitches.
That is quite a bit. And we didn't
No, I mean
stump
the poor
Tuskegee.
kid by the end of the poor kid by the end of it, you know, this is a guy that threw like mid 90s. By the end of it, he was throwing like 80.
Come on, Tuskegee. Did you really know that, or was that a guess? I thought for sure we would stump you on that one there. I didn't think that would be common knowledge. So we're playing for second place here. I think that's quite apparent. We're playing for second place. So good choice on going for first and second here.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, question 13.
We should just give Tuskegee a prize and then give the prize to everybody else too, maybe, or something.
And, yeah, Underdog and IBDB2U, they rang in just as quickly there. So well done. Okay.
What former major league pitcher threw 767 pitches in a Koshien, including 250 in a 17-inning win, and then he came back, threw the next day, and threw a no-hitter the next day after that, leading his high school to the title? If I threw 250 pitches in a day, I am not throwing a no-hitter 2 days later. I am, you know, icing my shoulder for the next 3 weeks, right?
All right, you got to pronounce these names.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Hold on. These are all major league players. Sure. Hiroki Kuroda, Daisuke Matsuzaka, Masahiro Tanaka, and Hideo Nomo.
Thank you. For those watching the VOD later and can't see all these because they don't show up.
Ah, good point.
They'll be like, who are my choices? I want to play along at home. 11 people. I didn't fool many people on that one. IBDB2U, the quickest to ring in, knows as Japanese baseball, EVC, Wade Beers, and Angry Badger. Did we get, Tesuiji rang in late. You know, he still got it. All right, next up.
And I will say, you know, somewhat in their defense, there actually have been movements since then to limit the number of pitches, you know, like to put a pitch count on players and stuff. And so, in fact, for the next question, in an effort to protect pitchers, in 2020, Japanese high school baseball for the first time actually limited pitchers to a maximum of how many pitches in a single week?
A single week. Major league players are a lot lower than this, I would think.
I think major league players, I guess in principle, you get 2 starts in a week, right? So maybe you could get up to a couple hundred pitches at most.
Yeah.
But those are also like fully developed professional pitchers, you know, and all that.
Okay. 4 people got this one. A lot of people guessing the 350. Kind of would make sense.
They kind of still picked an unreasonable number. I think if you throw 500 pitches in a week, still something's gone pretty badly wrong. But they do technically now have a protection for pitchers.
Yeah, that's still quite a bit. Rob Deere and Headlights, Dogberry, Sean Saul, the quickest to ring in there. And we have 2 more questions, both with a Canadian flavor to them. Question 15.
All right. What Tip O'Neill Award winner also played 2 seasons for the Nippon Ham Fighters?
Rob Ducey, Jeff Zimmerman, John Axford, or Rob Butler?
I will say I was really disappointed when I went over there to discover that the Nippon Ham Fighters weren't like fighting a bunch of pigs, but they were just the fighters sponsored by Nippon Ham.
What's their logo?
I think it's just to fight. Let me see if I can find that now, but it's not, it has nothing to do with fighting a pig, unfortunately. It's a pretty generic, Yeah.
It's a less than sign F, I guess.
Yeah, it's a pretty generic logo.
Yeah. All right, answers are in. 5 went with Zimmerman, 5 went with Ducey, 4 with Axford, and it is Rob Ducey.
But I think it would
All
be
right.
so much more fun if they actually were like, you know, fighting a pig or something, right?
Mucker, Dogberry, and Rich Rock, the quickest to ring in there. So into our final question, Tessawiji, congratulations. You are in first place. And it is Pop Stongoria has an outside chance. He's gotta hit that button real quick and hope that J Spy doesn't get it right. Or maybe he takes the 0. I don't know what his strategy is. All right, last question is Canadian flavor. Which 2 OOTP affiliates have recently been to Japan within the last year? Which 2 OOTP affiliates have been to Japan in the last year? In fact, probably within the last 3 or 4 months. Let's see how well you guys know your affiliates. Do you know this one, Charles?
I don't actually. I could
Oh.
maybe guess, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tessawiji really should get this one right.
I had to include him in 3 because if I only put him in 1, then everyone's going to know it. So I have to make it a little bit difficult. All right. Answers are in.
But you're not on the list, I see.
No, I've never been to Japan. So Tetsuiji is 1, and the second one is a fellow Canadian streamer. So that rules out a couple more. It is Extoforas. Extoforas has recently been to Japan. So 3 people got that one right. I'm guessing Tetsuiji is one of the 3. Yes, Tetsuiji is one of the 3. Ezra and contestant 157 are the other 2. Our results are final. J Spy and Tetsuiji are our 2 weekly winners. J Spy 83, please send me a quick whisper and let me know what your perfect team account name is. And 5
I think Tessawiji might have put up the biggest score we've had in a trivia so far.
No. We've had, I think, in 170 or 180,000. We've had higher.
Have we? Okay.
Yeah.
I know you usually like 50,000 is a pretty good score.
Yeah, no, I think we've had a couple, but then it might have been one where there was more questions or more value, like 20,000 points to
maybe,
questions.
yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. We have our giveaway going on here again, exclamation ticket, exclamation enter. Let's do the draw for this giveaway here. Give you about another 10 or 15 seconds. This has been up going for a while. And while we're waiting on that, we are going to go take a look at the bounty. Then we're going to look at a couple cards. Charles, we're not going to open any packs today. We're going to try and wrap this up fairly quick.
All right.
Because Dish went a little long for good reason.
Well, I guess
we kind
these
of went
new
a little
cards
long.
aren't in spotlights at least anyway, right? Because they're all missions.
Yeah, they're not packable. So other than that limited edition, it's not like we're trying to get one of the new cards. So it's a good week to kind of skip it. Let's bring up the bounty and find out if Lord Christic has our number or if we finally were able to defeat Lord Christic. Here we go. Well, we did make it into round 2. It's not looking good at round 2. But we were able to beat Lord Christic 3-1 with EVC's drafting. So congratulations, EVC. Our 8 pitchers plus 2 batters forced into a pitching role. We're able to get through round 1, and now we're up against the Dodgers. And they beat us 4-1 and 12-4. Although we do have our best pitcher coming up to try and save the day. So the Hoosman, it's up to you to try and knock us out. If we come back and reverse sweep, then we'll probably go up against the Haymakers, who are up 2-0 on the Locomotives. On the other side, the Arrows, the Tigers, or the Timegers, the Wood Ducks, and the Yankees. So we still got a little bit more to play, but we should find out if we're still hanging around before the end of the stream. Okay, let's take our last break. Then we'll come back. We'll make the draw here for this last set of 5 packs. We'll talk about a couple cards, and then we'll call it a day. Back
Sounds
in
good.
2 minutes. Congratulations to Ezra Denny. Ezra Denny, congratulations. 5 packs sent to the Ezra Denny account. So yes, the affiliate luck today with the packs. Okay, so again, still the bounty up for grabs. Right now, the Hoosman has the best chance of doing that. Okay, so Charles, let's go through a couple here. Let me change my screen here. Go to this.
Sure.
I got a perfect up here, so let's start with Matt Olson. I think people are probably more interested about the perfect cards that we saw. Olson, Freeman, Soto. Really good power, really good eye. You like power and eye. Where does he fit in amongst the meta for first baseman?
So we're looking at league or tournament more here, I guess, which I'm just running something while we do it. But
Let's go with league, because I think league probably where most people are focused on.
all right, so let's see. I think we're mainly looking at him against righties. Right, he's pretty splitty. So sorry, I'm just trying to pull up the card database, see if we can get that to work. All right, there it is. So I guess if you have, kind of everything available, what you're really asking is, where does this compare with a card like Browthers or Helton? Those are probably the first basemen that you've been looking at if you have everything available. And my sense is he's still a little bit behind those even versus righties. In fact, I think probably Freddie Freeman will come out a little bit ahead of Olsen as well. So my sense is that where these cards actually seem like they sit compared with the Immortals is a lot of them at the perfect level right now are a little bit behind the Immortals, but they're much, much cheaper. Browthers still is going to run you, say, 300,000 if you want to get him in the card shop. And if you instead want to get Freeman or Olsen, they're going to be a lot cheaper because it's mostly live cards. And actually, you probably have a lot of the live cards to begin with. So you probably have to buy at most only a few of them to get these. So I think what this set seems to do is it kind of raises the floor, where now, like, the weakest first baseman that a lot of teams will have will be some of these PT elite ones, but I don't think it's raising the ceiling as much.
So where does Freeman then compare against Brothers? Because you said he was probably the best of the first basemen.
I'd still play Browthers, but I think the gap between Freeman and Browthers is a lot less than the gap between Browthers and, say, Lou Gehrig or Norm Cash or something like that.
All right. Now we got two different.
So I still think I do prefer Browthers, but they're a lot closer is the point.
All right. Got a
In
couple
fact,
ones.
if there's an easy way to put up Freeman against Browthers, what you would see is if you compare them against righties, Freeman has a few more points. Browthers has a few more points of power and just a little bit of BABIP, but they're very, very similar.
Like you said, a cheaper option, much cheaper option.
And much, much cheaper.
Yeah. All right. We got a couple different ones. Soto's the Yankee, of course, recently traded there, and the San Diego Padre. I know EVC put in the chat, well, maybe Shoeless Joe Jackson is the comparable to him. What do you think?
Let me see this Soto. Yeah, I'm trying to see. He's not. Let me just run this a little deeper, because he's not showing up at all kind of in my top right fielders, simply because the defense is really not very good. And a lot of the good right fielders have excellent defense as well. If you're looking at Soto as a DH, then probably he ends up being kind of unplayable because there are too many better bats. But there's one big thing that I should mention about this card. If you look at the live Soto, for example, because these are all kind of versions of the live cards that have just been really made a lot more powerful. The live Soto has basically more eye than any live card in the game, by quite a bit. And this says 125 eye versus righties. If it's really 125, I think you're going to have trouble playing this card. But remember, that's where this presentation cap is. So if this card actually has, 150 eye versus righties, then it's probably a really interesting card. And that's something we're not going to know until we play it and get a little bit of data. But just as the card looks like as it's printed, the problem is that just this is behind all of these other right fielders that kind of also play defense. So think about like Al Kaline or the Hank Aaron, the Oscar Charleston we just got, but then also the Larry Walker that that kind of came out a few weeks ago, or even the Corbin Carroll that we just got in this set. But if that
Okay,
eye is a lot more than 125, then I start to really like the card.
Let's jump to a pitcher. Devin Williams was something that caught a lot of people's interest with that 191 stuff. Control's not there. Does he right now is Eric Gagne, Dennis Eckersley is kind of your primary closer roles? Where does he fit in?
So I think first off, the thing to keep in mind with stuff is the way that kind of the game is put together. 1 point doesn't always mean the same thing. That is to say, the difference between 191 and 192 stuff is worth a lot less in terms of how often you strike somebody out than the difference between like 55 and 56 stuff. And so this is part of why, for example, last year we had an Edwin Diaz that had well over 200 stuff. The card wasn't striking out twice as many hitters as the card with 100 stuff. So although that 191 stuff looks really impressive, I don't think you want to think about that as, he's twice as good as these cards that have 90 stuff. He's probably going to strike out 30% more hitters than the card that has, 100 stuff or something like that, which is still a fair amount. But it means the card's not quite as strong as it looks. And I think against righties, he's still going to be very good, but against lefties, the control is going to let him down a little bit. So I think this is a card that's kind of like the others, in this set in league play, where Devin Williams is, actually maybe a good comparison would be like the Baseball Reference Rob Dibble has a similar kind of shape. Or the Zach Britton maybe that just came out. And those are both cards where, if you're in perfect league and you can put together every single card in the game, they're not quite in your bullpen. But for most players in Diamond League that don't have every single card in the game, this is an upgrade over a lot of what you're running in your bullpen, and it's going to make your team better. And I think that's a lot of what the set's done so far. That's kind of what I'm saying is, for the most part, these are all cards where if you have every single card in the game, maybe they get squeezed out. But, in Diamond League, for example, the past few seasons, we've seen, the best teams are like at 115 wins and the worst are at 50. There's just this enormous gap. What I'm hoping this set's going to do is it's going to help the teams that are at 50 wins compete a lot better. Because now, instead of being like 6 wins behind, you're 2 wins behind at some of these positions.
All right. Couple questions in the chat. Congratulations to Sean Sultan, who pulled Billy Wagner. Maybe give Sean a little insight into where Billy Wagner currently is in the meta. Is he a top 10 reliever right now in terms of pure relief pitchers?
I think he's probably dropped a little bit behind that. But he's kind of in this range, like we're just talking about with a card like Dibble or Andrew Miller or Aroldis Chapman, where again you're not gonna feel like you're really hurting yourself in order to play the card. Like it's a perfectly solid bullpen card, but it's not going to be an elite bullpen card.
And again, helping those out that don't have all the cards, don't have all the immortals. It's definitely going to, like you said, it's not going to hurt your team. It's going to help it if
yeah,
you're
and I think that's important because you want league play to be fun and you want league play to be interesting. League play isn't, when the gap between the good and bad teams is 65 wins, neither the good nor the bad teams are really enjoying doing that for 6 days and waiting for the end of the season. It's a lot more fun when the gap is smaller and the games mean something and, you're playing into September and not quite sure where it's going to come out. So I think it's really nice to have a set that helps. And the other thing to remember is this is the beginning of this PT Elite program. If you think about the best players in the majors today, most of them didn't have cards come out today. They're going to have cards come out presumably later in the program, and probably those will be better than the cards that came out today.
All right. Next perfect was, I think it was the first perfect that we saw that kind of wowed a lot of people because of all the blue, and it was the Astros Valdez. Uh, Again, just as an amateur grading cards here, I think this is, in terms of meta, top 15 at least, maybe even into the top 10. Where does he rank in your meta for pitchers? Lefty
So
too.
I like this one even a little bit more than some other models will, because of the splits, or that is to say, because of kind of the slight reverse splits in a lot of things. So this is a card that actually should be better, even a little bit versus righties. There's one big thing I don't understand about the card, which is another thing that's going to make, I think, different models unsure what to do with it. You see this overall movement rating, which sort of should be a combination of the way it's set up, this homer prevention and p-BABIP. It's hard to understand how 105 of each of them is giving you a 99 movement, but 111 homer prevention plus 102 pitcher BABIP is giving you 128. So there's something about this card which is not being represented just in the ratings here. And whenever I see something like that, I kind of want to just tell people to be careful about what a model tells you, because the model is sort of just taking the numbers you see here and trying to turn it into a sense of how strong the card will be. And sort of it seems clear that there's something that I don't understand about these ratings.
That makes a lot of sense. When I look at it now, yeah, the versus left-handed batters, overall movement's lower versus the right-handed batters, it's higher.
Yeah, I would have expected those to be pretty similar.
Yeah.
And sometimes I've seen an argument that this is something about specifically the kinds of pitches that are being thrown. But here there isn't a breaking ball. There isn't like even a slider, or certainly nothing like a screw. There's nothing that kind of you would expect to give you a big difference between righties and lefties, because mostly it's vertical breaking balls. So with that said, and kind of pointing out, I don't think I fully understand what's happening with this card. I have him just barely outside the top 5. So that means a card which, if you have every single card in the game, maybe you decide that you can skip. But for most people, he's going to be very playable. And of course, with a lot of the starters in league play, you're not just asking, is this card good? But you're also asking, how does this card relate to my park?
Like
and
out of
one
the
of the
five,
nice things, what?
out of the, you're saying just out of the 5 total, or just left-handed pitchers?
Total, yeah. So and the other nice thing I was going to say about this card though is because this is sort of a pretty flat profile. This is a card that probably will play decent. It's hard to make a park that's a perfect fit for this card, but by the same token, it's a reasonable fit in almost any park. Like some of these cards that are really good at one thing and really bad at another thing, you want to put it in exactly the right park. Or a lefty that's only good at getting lefties out, in a park that helps lefty hitters, it's great, and in a park that helps righty hitters, it's awful. This is just a balanced card where you can probably run it in almost any park and it'll be about as good.
Wow. Okay. So of course the Pedro Martinez PTMS, that's the elite of the elite. And then we got like guys like Kershaw.
Kershaw, DeGrom, Arrieta.
So is he around that Arrieta, kind of slightly above or slightly below Arrieta?
No, I think so. I do have him below Arrieta, but I think the point is that he's kind of going to be in. Let me find exactly. I can be more specific. Let me just run exactly in a specific park. But yeah, so I've got him behind Kershaw, Arrieta, DeGrom, But like in that next group with a, with a card like Bumgarner, although Bumgarner has a different shape, but in a group like that.
Good.
So I think this is a card that you can play in most parks, but
All right.
yeah. So is it Oppo? I've got something similar. I've got this card slightly behind Bumgarner and Spawn instead of slightly ahead, but but they're all very close to each other.
Most people are playing him. If you get him in your missions, you're playing him. I mean, that's the point. He's going to help your team. We didn't talk about Carroll specifically. We kind of briefly mentioned him in terms of, is he a more versatile card? Is he the best batting card that we see today because of that versatility? Or is it still a guy like Freddie Freeman? Like, where does Carroll fit on a team?
I think the bat's behind Freeman, but this is a really good defensive outfielder as well. And so Freeman and Olsen are good defensive first basemen, but there's, a good defensive first baseman still has kind of limited value. That's why, in real baseball, you don't kind of put your premium defenders at first base. But you do put premium defenders, in right or potentially, I think I'd rather not run him in center just because there are really good center fielders available. So yeah, I still think Corbin Carroll is behind, Hank and Charleston and Kaline. He's behind the top Immortals, but he's not that far behind them. And so it's still a big upgrade if you're running anything but kind of the end of the Immortal cycle toppers.
Okay, chat. Any others? We got time for maybe one or two more. Any other cards that came out today that you want Charles to take a quick look at in terms of his model? And again, I can
mention a couple others I noticed quickly.
Okay.
Let's see. One that I think is going to be interesting because in the right park, I think he can play in League, but it's a weird card. Is the Logan Webb. So the Diamond Logan Webb, you'd have to be in exactly the right park because the pitcher BABIP is a problem for that card. But the other things, he's actually kind of elite at. So I think this is a card that you probably could construct a park for where you might want to try to run him in League.
All right.
The other really weird thing about this card is it has 113 stamina. And I don't understand kind of where that stamina rating is coming from, but it makes him incredibly useful. One of the things to keep in mind is there are right now a lot of OOTP era tournaments, including a few of the new ones, and some of them are caps where, like right now, there's a diamond ceiling high iron floor cap that I think is just about to fire one of the weeklies. And that's a reasonably tight cap where 113 stamina means you're going to run this card in caps because he's just going to eat innings for you where you don't have to get to like the high iron part of your bullpen. So yeah, I really like this one, even if it's hard for me to justify. How many innings did he throw this season? I should look this up, but because 113 is just a lot. Let me see what he threw this season. 216 innings. Yeah. Okay, so that which is admittedly a lot by major league standards, but that's still over 33 starts, right? So 6.5 a start. Whereas with 113 rating, you're probably going to get 8 innings out of this card in a lot of starts in a cap. So that's a really useful thing to have because a lot of the OOTP era cards that we would be replacing him with actually, are some of these future legends that only have 60 or 70 stamina. So that makes a big difference.
Well, okay, let's look at a couple more that people mentioned. EVC asked about golds, and when I saw this gold 80, like a low gold, if you're playing low gold caps, if there ever is one.
The other diamond I was going to mention, if you have it, by the way, is the Evan Carter. Looks phenomenal.
What team is that?
Should be the Rangers, right? Do you have a
Rangers? Okay. Yeah, just one. There we go.
Yeah, that card, because you get this high-end defense as well, I think this is going to be kind of a critical card for Diamond tournaments for a while.
He looks
I
well.
get, yeah. So Cage Wisdom's pointing out that may be an expensive mission because the Rangers have a couple of perfects, like the live perfects, and I guess do you need both Seager and DeGrom or just one of them? I don't know if you need both or just one, but yeah, that looks like an excellent card.
Any golds that stand out for you?
Well, Torkelson's a huge bat. I've now unfortunately lost my bet. There is a card that has both Torkelson and Elite on the same card.
Yeah.
But this is a big bat for gold. And it's an even bigger bat against lefties. But at the moment, that's really good because in gold, Frank Killen, Veen Gregg, James Paxton, maybe Mark Langston, of those four, you're probably facing maybe three of them when in a lot of gold rosters. And so a card that mashes lefties is really good. And this card still hits righties just fine.
Detroit Love. Give us one more, Charles, one that maybe pops up to you at any level here that we haven't talked about.
I'm still trying to pull these up. I'm sure that Zach Geloff, is that how you pronounce his name? Just because of the splits, I'm sure as a platoon card, he's gonna be useful. And then I guess I know you play some silver, right?
Gold.
So if you're playing silver, the CJ Abrams that came out looked pretty good too.
Were there two silvers? I thought there was just one. Maybe there's two. Let me see. There it is. CJ Abrams. Yeah.
It at least says it's in there. I haven't gone through, but it at least says there's a 77. Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Okay.
And again, pretty splitty.
Yeah.
But really good on his good side. And, good enough that at least I think, if you don't have a card, if you don't have a card like a, Bronze Aussie or something, I think you can now reasonably, still have an. I mean, Seager was probably fine also if you wanted something more offensive. But you could probably do something like that. I'm probably just going to play this card at second instead.
Yeah. With this bat shape of Louis Perez, is there anything that he can play in that you're going to use this card? It's a low diamond.
Let me see where.
I mean, a different shape with the low Y in power.
It's definitely not the bat shape I would have gone for. But the interesting thing about that card, which admittedly I have not watched him as much as some other players, but those defense ratings surprise me a bit. He's not somebody I thought of as kind of being like an elite defensive second baseman. I think the problem is, in modern, the lack of power and eye really hurts you. But when you go back toward like dead ball, I'm still not quite sure the lack of eye isn't going to be a problem. I think in order to play, you are again at this presentation cap where he might be more than 125 BABIP. And there's a number that you could bump that to where he'd become pretty interesting. Okay, I see Zadafo's thinking the same thing. But I don't think he's very far over that cap because that contact rating is usually something that you can kind of work out from BABIP and avoid Ks. And I think I have him at right around 125.
Okay, so in brief, for those that are just joining in, today's set, nothing meta breaking. They bring you closer to meta in many of the cases, but nothing that people in Perfect League right now are running out and adding to their team, other than maybe a pitcher like Valdez.
Plus some good tournament cards. And yeah, I'd say Valdez is probably the one that's most likely to play in a you have every card in the game kind of roster. But there are actually a lot of these that I think will be a nice upgrade for some of the teams that maybe decided to try to skip the Immortals and wait for a future program. If you've been skipping a lot of the Immortals and kind of saving up, this is a really good way to kind of cheaply upgrade your team, because I think you're going to find that getting the lives are, a lot cheaper.
And as you said, many more to come of some of the bigger name players, which could break meta.
Yeah, that too.
Last one I have on a personal note, because I play gold. I want to know, do I add this card to my gold tournaments? Not league play, but gold tournaments. Is he a guy that I want on my roster because of that defense?
I think I'm definitely going to play him in a gold floor cap, because in a gold floor cap, he's just an excellent 80. He plays all three positions and he's free. I think if you were going to try to play him in open gold, the only place that the defense would be worth thinking about would be playing him in center. Personally, I don't think the bat's quite good enough. So I think I probably would rather do something else. But if you're kind of trying to max out your center field defense, the bat's at least better than some of the glove-only players that are out there.
Is he above Walt Wilmot? That's kind of who I'm playing in that position now.
As a two-way player, I don't think so. And Wilmot is a switch hitter. But if you're going to run some of these cards both ways, and then you're looking at who's a good multi-position backup, the fact that he plays three positions well is still really useful. So I think I'm gonna play him in a gold. I think I'm gonna play him in anything with gold floor. Yeah, I think that's right, Zadafo. Or Wade Beard. I think he'd replace Kane. But I think it's already the case that if you have every card available, then you're probably not playing Kane. You're probably playing something like Wilmot, maybe Blair on the other side. But then now this Negro League set that came out last week also had a couple of really solid options. I think if I'm willing to platoon center, though, I think I'd rather play Mike Cameron versus lefties, because the bat's just quite a bit bigger.
Love new releases, new sets, and the conversations that we can have.
Low gold is Adolfo. Yeah, low gold. Then I definitely would play him. And maybe actually the better way to say it is, I do have this card ahead of Pearsall, right? We had this 72 Jim Pearsall that a lot of people for a while were even running up to low diamond versus lefties right when he came out. If you're still running Pearsall in any of your builds where Doyle's also eligible, then I think you can upgrade him to Doyle.
Fair enough. Well, it's been a long day for you. It's been a long day for myself and EVC and DishNet and a lot of viewers as well. Again, momentous new program coming out. We're going to see many, many more cards. You say that Ohtani's going to go to the Dodgers. I think there's going to be a third team. I know one of the things that Ohtani said requested when he was interviewing was he didn't want a lot of press, like he didn't want a lot of things leaked out. And then, of course, yesterday or the day before, the Dodgers said, "Oh yeah, we talked to him." And so I don't know if that's going to come into play. I don't know if he's a prima donna who says, "Okay, you said that, I told you not to." But I think there's going to be a third team, whether it's the Angels or Cubs or Reds. I don't know. I just think there's going to be. I don't know.
Would you want the Blue Jays to sign him?
I would get a jersey within that month. I would pick up an Ohtani Blue Jay jersey. It'd be great for Canada. Canada would rally around him. They'd be able to market him really well throughout the whole country. I don't know with Los Angeles, like if Ohtani goes to Los Angeles, because there's so many other big players there, does he kind of get lost in all the other big player names out there where if it comes to Canada, you have a country around him rather than a city? I know LA is pretty much the population of Canada, so population-wise, but
yeah,
it'll be interesting. We'll find out, I think, within the next few days.
Yeah, I mean, he's really fun to watch, but I feel like, you know, if the Sox were to sign him, I think he's going to take up so much of the budget. Like, it's hard for that to be a success with how much he's going to get paid.
Yeah, but Dodgers, they get the budget. Yankees would have a budget. Toronto, Rogers, if you're not familiar with Rogers, that kind of owns basically the Blue Jays. They are a big telemarketing communication company in Canada. They have a lot of money, probably one of the wealthiest corporations in Canada. It's just a matter of do they want to spend. And I think for a guy like Ohtani, the injury is a big red flag, but maybe you have a two-year opt-out just to see, you know, if
No, but the opt-out completely kills you, because the opt-out just means that if he's healthy, he opts out and looks for more money, and so you're kind of only keeping him if he's injured, right?
Yeah. We will see. Yeah, I mean, you guys, the value, the negative value, the money that it's going to cost, but it's Ohtani. It's like the modern day Babe Ruth.
As a fan, I would love to watch him. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the whole trick, right?
Yeah. Corporations definitely are much more bottom line and profit and things like that. But I just think, you know, if you market them in Canada, think of the money you would generate through television, through merchandise.
Yeah.
I think it would work. The health thing, though, is the biggest thing for me with Ohtani. How old is he now anyway? 20, 26, 28, 29?
Right. He's right in his prime, right?
Yeah.
So 29. So kind of right at the time that you'd want to sign him.
Yeah. Well, with Soto going to the Yankees and Baltimore improving, Jays are in trouble of making the postseason with the team they have. They need an injection of something. We'll find out. It's fun to watch, fun to speculate. Charles, do you have a show going on tomorrow? If so, do you know what time so people can be aware of it?
Probably do. Is it off of, if you're in chat, maybe you can say what time you're around, but sometime tomorrow for sure.
Okay. So you guys will be doing your 8-hour stream with 30 cards. You've got a lot to talk about.
I'm sure it'll be a short stream, as always.
Of course, it'll be short. Okay, Charles, enjoy the rest of your night and enjoy your weekend. And PTCS coming up. Where do you feel your best shot is with this format that they have?
I haven't looked much at it yet. I'll be honest, the rewards are not that inspiring, so I haven't put a lot of effort into it yet. But
well, who would you take if you could only take one of two? Would it be the Seaver or would it be the who's the hitter? Who's second place?
Trying to remember. Neither was super exciting. Probably the Seaver sells for more.
Ott, right? The
I think Ott is the card Ott's the card I'd much rather play.
Ott, yeah. All right. Well, we'll see how you do, and I've qualified for, I think, bronze, gold, and iron. So hey, you can't win unless you have at least a shot one of the 128 teams. So All the best to you
Exactly.
this weekend. Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. Thank you, Charles. And thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for those that have followed, those that have subscribed. As always, I am back on Saturday with my Gladiator series after EBC's Ripapalooza. So around 12:30ish to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This has been the HAWC Report number 37, PT Elite. Thanks for watching. See you next episode.
Thanks a lot.
A very good friend of mine told me something the other day. I'd like to pass it on to you. I believe what he said to be true. He said we're here for a good time, not a long time. So have a good time. The sun can't shine every day, and the sun is shining in this rainy city, and the sun is shining.